Hi guys, Tiffany here. Welcome to my quilting life. Today is the 8th of December. I figured I would come on with another part 2 of the random clothing quilt. So I'm making 2 quilts for a client and their memory quilts out of random clothing from their from the father. So the father passed away, and last time I was here, I showed you guys prepping the fabric. So cutting it all up, the best way to cut it to get the most of it, since I'm not using actual t-shirts. These are all t-shirts, but they're not t-shirts with pictures on them. So they're being cut differently than you would if you had a picture to take. So now I'm making the most of the fabric that I have available to me by chopping everything up. So let's see who's here. We got Brenda, Heather, Kim, and Jim. Hi guys, welcome. So I have been a super busy girl here, and I was sick for a few days, and then today I started feeling a little bit better. So I figured I would get up and start working on this project, since I have to make 2 quilts. I kind of want to, I'm trying to give my deadline before Christmas, and I'm pretty quick once I get started and continue on, as long as there's no interruptions of sickness or MS symptoms or anything like that. So I'm definitely behind on my normal quickness of making things, but this is a lot of preparation that takes to turn clothing into a quilt. So let's see, we got Teresa's here, Vicky's here. So hello everybody joining. If you remember the last video, it was just the cutting of everything. So what I had done was I cut the shirts, and you can see here's like a sleeve, and here's like the back of the shirt. It's all cut up. Everything was cut at the top, sides, bottoms, and the sleeves were cut out again, so that I can get the most of what I have available, since I am making 2 twin size quilts out of this stuff. So I went ahead, and I've already started on this, and because I'm ahead of myself, but I made 2 piles of the clothing. So I only had however many shirts to work with, and there's 2 quilts, and I don't want them to be exactly the same, but I do want them to have an equal amount of fabric per quilt. So what I did was I separated into 2 piles. Each pile either got the front or the back of the quilt and a sleeve. The other one got the back or the front of the quilt and a sleeve. So I went ahead and separated it. So it didn't matter if it was the front or the back, and I didn't keep it equal. So there's a back of the quilt in this, or the back of a shirt in this quilt, and a sleeve in this side, and then a sleeve in this side in the front of the quilt, and so on and so forth. So I should have 1 top front piece or back piece per pile and 1 sleeve per pile. So I can, again, get the most of what I'm looking for. So again, I have a sleeve and a front or back. I don't know which one it is. A sleeve and a front or back throughout this whole entire pile. So there was 2 separate piles. I already started working on pile number 1. I'm going to take pile number 2 and throw it out of the way, because I am on pile number 1. And this is the part where you think you need to measure. They were all large shirts. So I was like, I'm determined to get the most out of the fabric. But then again, I don't want to work with too big of squares, and I don't want to work with a bunch of half square triangles. And I had come up with one design, but then I thought, some of these fabrics are super duper thick, because they are, let's see, like this. It's, oh my gosh, what's the word for it? What you wear under your clothes when it's super cold outside. I totally forgot the name of it. You guys know what I'm talking about. Sometimes I can't get words out, but I know what it is. Anyways, they're like super thick, and then some were super thin, like this polyester jacket thermal. Thank you, Kim. I knew it would come to me, but it came to me from you guys. So, and then some are this thin polyester. So then I thought, if I put interfacing on every single piece that I'm cutting out, those are going to be some thick seams. Now, if I turn it into half square triangles, those thick seams are going to be so bulky that quilting on the long arm is going to be a big disaster hassle because I'm going from a thick to a medium to a really thin. So I would be going from the thermal, thank you guys for telling me, with interfacing on it, to a regular t-shirt, which is a different thinness with interfacing on it, to a super thin polyester windbreaker jacket, which is even thinner but would still have interfacing. So I'm thinking once I'm long arming, you go from those with the seams in the middle, you know, and they're combining, there's double on the seams. So when you're going with the long arm, you're going to have skip stitches between those. You're going to have say it'll stitch over it, but the next few stitches, the tension is set for a specific continuance. You know, like you continually have a specific amount of the tension is there. The stitches are set for 10 stitches per inch, but as soon as you start having bumps and lumps, things start happening. I want to prevent that by having as less seams as possible. So I changed my mind on what I originally wanted to do. Although it would have been less seams, I just decided to go with the most simplest, yet I'm getting the most of this fabric pile, which is 5-inch squares. I mean, who doesn't love 5-inch squares and putting them together into a quilt? And then you're going to say, well, Tiffany, wasn't there some pictures on some of that stuff? Well, yes, there was. Some of them I cut out like this into a 9.5-inch square. Why, you say? Because I'm going to make 9 patches, and this is 4 blocks all by itself. 4 5-inch squares is 9.5 inches. Bam. So this part is done. I just need to add 2 and 2. So there we go. So it should match up, and then I can add a couple, you know, each quilt will have that same thing, and each quilt will have the same thing from the sleeve of that, because that was the front part of the shirt. So yeah, I'm making do with what I have, and I decided 5-inch squares were the way to go because I measured out and I measured up, and I said, well, this is where I can get the most. So I've been cutting 5-inch squares like crazy and cutting 5-inch squares of interfacing like crazy, because look at this. Here's the pile that I still have to interface. I got to try to keep them facing up because this fabric, some of them you can't tell what is the right side and the wrong side, but the right side is nice and pretty. The wrong side is a little bit more, you can see the grain and the marks from the fabric and so on. So I want to make sure that I keep everything right side up. Like with regular t-shirts, it's hard to tell, but if you really look close, you can see the back side, which was the underside of the shirt, from the inside, you know, that side. It has a little bit more distinction to it. So I'm just making sure everything stays up. Of course, the only one that I'm struggling with is using the thermal, although it's easy to tell what side is the right side and the wrong side. It is very, very stretchy, and it also does not like to glue onto the interfacing, which kind of sucks, but I'm making it work. So there's some, and then if I reach back over here, here is my stack of already interfaced pieces. So I've so far done 12 of each color that I've cut. So you can see, putting these together and into seams, you're going to have some really thick seams, because you can see this area right here, these are the thermal. So that is a very super thick area, and then the rest are small, you know, because you can see the difference in the thickness of the fabric. And then obviously I'm cutting my interfacing into 5-inch squares. Normally I'd leave the seam out of my interfacing, which I have done in the past plenty of times, and it works perfect. But since there's like 3 different textures of fabric here, I definitely just went edge to edge with it, because I didn't want the seam to stretch while I'm sewing through the thermal. I didn't want perfect seams that don't stretch with the polyester, and so on and so forth. So I just went ahead and did the whole block which makes it easier. So this is what I'm doing, and I'm going to throw this pile out of the way because this is quilt number 2, or at least the most of it. I'm going to see who else is here real quick.
The penguin is going on quilt number 2?
Yeah, that's for number 2.
Okay.
I was at, all right, we got Judy here. Teresa was saying, Beverly's here. Teresa is here. Tony is here. Bonnie is here. Teresa's busy quilting on the long arm, but I will listen. Awesome. Everyone's still saying hi. Vicky made French fries with gravy and chicken nuggets. That sounds delicious. Everyone told me thermal. We got Luann here. We got Kathy here. Linda is here. And Sarah is here. So I'm going to pass this over to Scott. And then I told you guys that the whole camera moves around a lot, but that's mainly for the vlogs. For this, I'm just going to tip the camera over so that you can see you need to iron the shirts. That is a 100% how to get this to go perfect. You have to iron a lot. There's a lot of ironing involved and a lot of cutting. When I can finally get to the sewing, or pressing as I call it, Scott had to correct me because putting the fabric onto these 5-inch squares of interfacing, you need to press, not iron, because you don't want your fabric to stretch and you don't want anything to get ruined. So Scott's in here. He's going to read comments. I'm going to just leave you guys there, but tip the camera between cutting and sewing. I mean, cutting and ironing, because I'm not at the sewing point yet, but I will be hopefully soon. Right now I'm just cutting 12 of each. I'm cutting all the squares out, but only ironing, interfacing to 12 of each color for now. That way I can start piecing. So here you go, Scotty.
Thank you.
And I'm just going to tip you guys to the ironing board so that you can see.
Hi, everyone. They said hi to me.
So I am going to grab a shirt. Now, here's something I want to pay attention to. This would be the back of the fabric where the shirt is folded under. And then a pretty side would be the side where you see your top stitching on it, like that. So you want to make sure that everything you do is with the pretty side facing up. And some of these are super stretched out, and that is why I'm ironing them in submission, because I really want them to stay as flat as possible, as well as get as much as I can out of the fabric again. So I'm using my hands at first, making sure everything's flat and not stretching. Just want it flat. I'm going to take my iron and I'm going to iron this whole thing with the grain, which is up and down and or side to side of this knit fabric.
Now see, that part I could have done for you.
I want to make sure that it is super duper duper flat. And you can starch at this point if you want to, but I am not, because my cutting seems to go really nice and quick the way I do it. Okay. One more time back and forth, and you can use steam if you need. I decided to switch to an iron that is plugged in because my other one I kept having to reset. So I'm going to put this up here on the cutting board now, keeping everything so super duper flat. And I'm going to show you guys how I chop this up. We're going to come over here so that you can see. And I told you there'll be some movement. I'm going to start by lining up this seam right here that was made into the clothing with a line on here on my cutting mat. And I make this super easy on myself because I've been cutting all day long. I just line it up, I make the cut, and then I move the ruler, keeping my cutter down. And this is garbage. I don't need that. It's waste. Then I switch sides. I don't move anything. I keep the ruler right where it is. And this is a 5-inch ruler. So my 5-inch cut is so simple and easy. I do have to tell you that these fabrics will dull your blades faster because that's what's happening here is my blades are getting duller. Then I'm going to start back up here again. So I have one 5-inch. I'm not going to stretch it. I'm just going to slide it out of the way. And then I'm going to grab my next one, line it up, cut halfway down, slide the ruler, which is so easy to do. Cut it the rest of the way. Just slide it down. Try not to bend it or turn it or fold it or anything because it stretches really, really easily. I'm going to line the next one up. I'm lining the ruler with the edge of the fabric that I just cut.
You want me to help you with cutting since your wrist hurts?
No,
Okay.
I'll just wear the wrist brace longer later.
Okay.
All right, so there's my third cut, and you can see this is getting quite a bit of squares out of this fabric. And now I'm going to make another cut right here. And I don't think I'll get a square out of that because I haven't been this whole entire time. So I just get what I can out of it. All right, so these pieces are going in my scrap pile in case I make something else for my client. And since I'm already up here, I'm going to line my ruler up with this seam right where it came out. And I'm going to switch to a different cutter because I can cut left and right-handed. I'm going to cut the trash away and then cut that. So there's one square. And then I'm going to do the same on this side because I can have that scrap in the middle for something else. So I got 2 squares out of that top, which have been the shoulder area. I'm just going to keep them facing up, throw that in my scrap. Then I'm going to line these up where they were. And I'm going to get the most out of my fabric by sliding it down ever so slightly. We'll line the ruler up. It should be 15 total inches because this I cut them into 5-inch strips. I'm going to go as far over as I possibly can without wasting anything that I don't need to be wasting. So that's garbage. You can hear the sound of my dulling blade on these knits. This was a super sharp cutter until today. Now it's very, very, very dull.
If you want, I can change the blade for you.
No. I'm going to use it till it doesn't cut no more. Oh, that's funny. So I'm going to get 4 cuts out of all this right here, which is better than cutting big squares because I wouldn't have known how big I would have gotten from every fabric unless I did math, and I was not interested in doing any math today. Oops, that was not supposed to land where it landed. So now I just keep these facing up and carefully stack them on top of each other. I'm going to grab my red pile out of here because this is the color that I'm on. Just stack them all up nicely.
Hi, Teresa. Hi, everyone. Hi, Joyce. Joyce said hi.
So I'm getting the most out of all of these fabrics. So you can see my stacks grow pretty quick. So this is just from the front or back of the shirt.
Hi, everybody. There you go.
This is either the front or the back of the shirt and one sleeve. So you can see I get quite a bit of pieces out of front and back and one sleeve. So I'm just going to stack this over in my pile and grab another shirt. And I'm hoping you can still see over here. Is the camera still faced this way a little?
Yeah.
At the ironing board?
Yes, they can see the shirt up to the sort of edge of it. Yes.
Okay, well, I'll just put it like that. So this shirt has a stain on it, but I kind of think that because I'm getting what I can out of all this fabric, I think I'm just going to hope that it'll cut the 5-inch square around it. I'm hoping it lines up right, but there's a nice big stain right here.
Let's see. Right. Oh.
That'll probably be the bottom 5 inches. So again, I'm ironing the thermal. I'm either ironing up and down with the fabric and or side to side. So you can see I'm just trying to make sure that there is no wrinkles or anything. And I'm not going to worry about that top section because that's just going to go on the scraps. I'm going to pick it up as is, bring it over here, and this one's not going to be a straight bottom like that. Hopefully that stain is only in one square the way this lines up. Like, seriously. All right, and I'm going to do the same thing I did. I'm going to start with one rotary cutter and then I switch to the other because I'm doing the right and left-handed thing today.
Hi, Linda. Linda saying hi.
All right, so this is just garbage. I don't need that. Leave the ruler right where I ended. Make sure it stays nice and straight. And I got to watch the ruler too because I don't want it to hit. There's little like pieces on the shirts that weren't cut off. So I just slide it out of the way. The thermal stretch is the worst. It's the super stretchiest fabric of all of these. And you guys can see this Martelli cutter can be used in your hand, even if your whole hand is not holding it like that. All right. Oh yeah, that'll be in a square, I think. I will be able to cut around it and probably still get 4 5-inch squares in that direction. So I have to pick the ruler up right here because it's hitting the seam of the shirt. Lining it back up. Cut that side. Slide it down. And I will get one more 5-inch square from the tops of these right here.
So did you make 12 without using the stain?
I don't know yet. We will see right now. So these pieces I'm just going to put in my scrap pile because they're kind of big. I'm going to start right here on the top. Lining that ruler up. Switching to 2 hands. I'm going to cut this one first. And then this one, and that's just garbage because it's too small. And then come to this side. So I'm just doing this whole double-handed swap thing over and over. So there's 2, and I should get probably not 2 here. Nope. I will have just 2 from this whole row. But again, I'm saving the scraps, so it doesn't matter. One that way. So here's 4 squares already. And again, I'm not stretching them or anything. I'm just carefully moving things out of the way. I line it all the way up to the edge. And I just cut until there's nothing left to cut. Okay, I'm hoping that that's the section amount that this next one will come out of, hopefully, so I don't get that stain. Let's see. I'm going to move this up so that I can pay good attention.
Do you want me to count your pieces so you know? Do you need the stain?
No.
You don't have to use it.
No, it's fine. So I got 1. If it's just a sliver of the stain in there, oh, that's too much of it. See, that's really a pretty big stain. I don't know. Let's see. Yeah, that whole stain is in there. All right, so this section is just going to go in my scrap because it has a stain. Again, I'm going to stack all these up. Making a nice big pile and making sure that I don't flip anything because I don't want to get wrong sides. So you can see how much bigger a stack of thermal is compared to a stack of the cotton knit. All right, let's iron another one. So here's that polyester. piece, I am not going to iron from this back side, which was the inner side of the jacket. I'm ironing from the top side. And I'm also decided against using the pockets. So I'm just going to make sure that those are folded out of the way. And I'm just going to carefully press it. And I don't need these.
You decided
right
against
here.
your pocket idea?
I wanted to, and then I was like, I don't know if I could fit that into a 5-inch square, and then I'd have to block it off when I go to quilt.
Oh, I like the pocket idea.
I do too, but let's see. Maybe I could get a 9.5-inch square out of that area and add a pocket. Let's see how big that section is. I still like my pocket idea. So, if the pocket was folded in, let's see.
Well, I mean, you got more than one that you're going to cut to make pictures of. Like this one has a penguin, and there's another one that has something. So,
I mean, that's not going to hit the seam right there. Is that even a 1/4 inch? Not really. Not really. Not really. I think I'm just going to exit my pocket idea.
well,
All right.
I liked it.
I'm removing the pocket idea.
They're not saying anything, so I don't think they mind either way.
So I'm going to start by removing this pocket carefully. Carefully. Just going to throw it down on the floor. And now I'm going to cut this way. I'm going to line this up to the edge of the fabric, keeping it all the way on the edge. So there's one 5-inch strip. And now I'm cutting a totally different way, but again, I'm making the most of the fabric, and if I would have cut this way, I wouldn't have been able to cut that pocket out first. So I just go halfway up, slide the ruler to the other straight edge, making sure that whole thing is still straight, keeping my blade down. I'm just going to slide it completely out of the way now. And I'm trying not to move anything because this stuff moves so easily.
Yes, Lisa, she's doing the memory quilt.
Yep. I'm doing clothing memories.
Gwen says hi also.
Hello to everybody who is joining.
She's late because of the Zoom call with the grandkids.
Oh, that's
fun.
fine.
That's fun.
I
Talking
don't-
to the grandkids. We don't mind.
Oops, and I just totally veered off because it's a left-handed thing. It happens every once in a while when I'm cutting with my left hand. It's a good thing I don't need that top corner.
Kim says the roller makes cutting the blocks easy.
Yes. Okay, I'm going to line this up right here. Actually, just going to turn it around and cut this pocket out of here.
Yes, for those of you that just got here, she decided against the pockets.
Yeah.
We were all sad about it, even she was, but they're not working.
No, I wouldn't have got... I didn't cut them close enough when I cut them originally. I should have cut it better, but I didn't. All right, we're going to hold this out of the way. Nope, don't move. Seriously. I'm going to start with this top area first. There we go, right there. Come on. Come on. Bye. All right, pocket out of the way. Now, put that back the way it was. I'm just going to turn the direction of my body and start cutting 5-inch squares this way. And again, I'm just going to watch my left hand with this whole swirling outward, because sometimes that happens when I'm cutting, and it doesn't look like I'm going to get, nope. So that's a good thing. Next. You can see, look at how easy this stuff bends and folds. It literally does not stay straight. This poly is so slippery, so very slippery. But this is how it's done, and then I'll show you guys how to iron the, I'll show you how to cut the fusible and iron it on. And we'll get one more. Come on. Pick it. Lay it down. One more. Oh, look at that, right on the edge. Perfect. So I got one more. And I just got to stack them up. Slide that over a little. This is the part that takes the longest, is cutting the fabric up and then ironing it on or pressing it on to the interfacing, because it does take a long time. But I'm getting the most out of everything, which is what we want. Because I want as many pieces as possible, because this thing needs to be twin. Well, there needs to be two twins, so the next set of everything I will cut exactly the same. So I've decided, for those that are joining, to do 9 patches. And there was only one t-shirt with a saying on it to cut out. So with that, I'm going to use the pocket on one. Okay, so that's not going to make it. I'm going to use the pocket from one side, the front pocket, and that'll make a 5-inch square. And then which is a slip hand pocket, or not hand pocket, but what is it called? The pockets that are here, it's just a pocket, a front pocket.
Yeah, it's just
a breast pocket, a breast pocket.
Okay, is that what you were looking for? Yeah. Breast pocket, yes.
That one I'm going to use, and then the picture will just go onto the back of one of the quilts. All right. So again, I got to stack these all up nicely. I'm going to grab this out. I've already got a ton from the sleeve, like seriously.
Hi, Ellen. Ellen says hi.
Hello, everybody who is joining. I'm making a mess here. This is very, very shreddy fabric too, this polyester. But I'm using it. I'm using everything they gave me except for one jacket. All right, so here's a stack of this. I'm just going to throw it out of the way.
Hello, Lynn says hi.
All right.
Now, when you mix the polyester with regular cotton, is that going to sew together just fine?
Yeah, it should.
Okay.
Because I have interfacing on it.
Oh, okay.
Speaking of.
Is that what the interfacing is for?
To make, yes. To make this wonderful, lovely quilt. Sorry for that sound. We need some Pellon 911, because I'm working with tons of different fabrics, so I want the same lightweight interfacing. And I'm just going to open this up. This goes so fast because this is 20 inches wide. 20 inches wide. So it makes it so simple to cut 5-inch squares. So I take my ruler and I actually do the same exact thing that I've been doing. I just line it up, slide down. Line it up, slide down.
Hi, Shirley. Like Shirley says hi.
Hello. So I'm just cutting 5-inch strips, just moving my ruler as I go.
You want the long ruler behind you?
Nope, because it's non-slip. I can't slide it. I don't want to have to pick it up.
Wall behind you?
No, I'm just fine with this one.
Oh, okay. I was trying to help.
Yeah, I just stuck that other one aside because on the clothes it was sticking to everything.
Yeah, but the one behind you doesn't stick. That's fine.
So I continuously just cut these into 5-inch strips.
You're doing good.
I better be. I've been doing this all day.
I was working on breaks and you were working on cutting down.
2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And then after I cut these into my 5-inch squares, or whatever size squares that you come up with for your project, and then I just stack them all on top of each other like this. And you can literally cut this in like 10 layers, seriously. Here's just 6 right here, and it goes so easy. I just line them all up on the edge. And it's literally like a quarter of an inch beyond 20 inches. I think they give you plenty of wiggle room. And I just line this on here. I straighten this edge up if I didn't get it right, but I again have plenty of room. So I cut 1, 2, 3, and this is the 4th. And like I said, this is like a quarter inch. If those were together, it's like a quarter inch bigger than it needs to be. And I just stack them all, and they're already glue side facing up, which is what I want. And look at this big huge pile I got going. So now we're going to zoom in over to this ironing, because I want you guys to see. I'm going so quick here, aren't I? Probably lost y'all.
You always go quick for some of these people. Some of
All
them
right.
have a,
I want you to
have a
see the
hard
ironing
time.
board and what I'm doing.
Some of them I'm sure can keep up with you, and some might even be faster.
So I
than
have
you, but
glue side up. And
you're a
like I
quick
said,
one.
I'm just doing 12 pieces at a time. So I'm going to lay out 12 of these glue side up. This makes it so easy to do. 12 of these are glue side up. Just like that. 12 of them, glue side up. See how simple that is? And now I'm going to take 12 of these. So I'm taking my stack right here, and I am going to carefully lay each one on top of a square, and they should be exactly the same size. Try not to stretch them or anything like that. And if it doesn't match up, that's just because the interfacing wasn't cut completely correctly. Everything else should be accurate, but
And tell them one of the reasons you were going fast now is because you were doing all this stuff earlier too. So you've been
yeah.
practicing all day.
Well, it's not called practicing. It's just I do work more when I'm not on camera.
I know.
I work faster not on camera. So I'm making sure that these are right side up onto the glue facing right side up, glue side up. And it's pretty much going onto the back of all of these. And I'm just pre-putting them on here because it makes it go so much faster if you just lay all these on where you want them. I didn't want to waste any interfacing. I didn't want to waste fabric by gluing all the interfacing on to the fabric and then cutting it. That just seems like a waste to me. So I spend a little extra time to put all of my pieces directly onto the proper size square like this.
Hello, Brenda. Brenda says hi from Canada.
Hi, Brenda. All right. So now those are facing the correct direction. I'm just going to go like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick it up. 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 Again, I'm just counting 5. Picking the iron up, setting it down on the opposite side of the square. Picking it up, putting it on one square. Holding it for 5. Pick it up, put it on the other side for 5. So the glue stays.
Hi, Mary. Mary wants to know what we're working on tonight, huh?
I am
Or what
working
you're
on
working
my clients' quilts, the
The
2
memory-
memory quilts that I'm
Memory
making
t-shirts, clothing
out of
quilt.
clothing. So I'm showing you guys how I prep everything. Oh, I already did that one. And this is why I chose a corded iron, because I would have already had to put the iron on the dock twice now.
Hi, Peggy. Peggy says she's sorry she's late and she's sorry she missed you last night.
That's fine. I wasn't here last night. My stomach was killing me
I was going to
for
say you
quite a
were
few
little
days.
sick
I
last
didn't
night.
get to vlog yesterday. It was horrible.
You did movie night all night last night.
Yes, we watched Transformers. 2 more Transformers movies.
Oh, and Mary wants to know, are you better?
I have a slight stomach ache, but it's not horrible. It's very tolerable right now. But then I always have digestion problems. I've had them for years, so
Hi, Stephen. Stephen asks, can you make a WAP quilt for charity or WAP quilt, whatever that is?
WAP?
Yes, WAP.
I don't know what WAP is. I don't know all the short things. And now I'm just gonna...
Stephen, what is a WAP quilt?
I'm just gonna slide over them all now one more time, just to make sure that the glue is 100% adhered.
Mary says she's glad you're better.
I am too. It was horrible. It lasted longer than 24 hours, that's for sure. I'm going over all of these to make sure that they are properly adhered.
He says, look up Cardi B WAP. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. Is it spam?
I don't know. And Peggy says she's sick too, Tiff.
It's going around.
She's glad she didn't miss
All right.
anything, but hates that you were feeling bad.
So here is now what a square looks like. I'm trying to get this as close as possible, even though it's zoomed in. So here's what a square looks like with the interfacing on it. It's 100% adhered. You could see the thickness just by me holding it here. They are pretty thick, and that's why I just decided to go with the squares, because of all the changes and all the different sizes of all of this fabric. So I'm just doing 12 squares at a time, and then I'll count out again, and then do another 12 squares and count out again until I have an equal amount of every single color. So right now I'm just doing 12. So let's do some of this thermal now. Let's stack that on my stack. We're going to put this thermal on now. And this stuff doesn't stick as good. I'm telling you in advance, thermal is not as good on this glue. So I'm going to lay out 12 squares again.
Hi,
With
Peggy.
the glue side up. I want to feel the roughness of the glue, not the smoothness of the opposite side.
Hi, Bonnie. Bonnie says hi, and she asks how you're doing today.
Hello, everybody. I'm just trying to be fine. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8,
Well, you're
9,
better than you were yesterday. Let's put it that way.
10, 11, and 12. All right, so I have my 12 pieces. Again, I'm just going to take these carefully and lay them on top. I'm trying not to have any wrinkles or creases when I lay them on here. Just want to carefully lay them on top. Just like this. I'm hoping this is a very good view, just being zoomed in.
Thank you, Bonnie. Bonnie says that's great that you are better.
Yeah.
Do you want me to do some of that, and you can bring the camera over and explain?
This one has a little stain, but some of the stains are okay. They're just...
Honey?
Huh? No.
Did you want me to do some of that?
Oh,
Well, you showed me
That
earlier.
one came out too small.
You showed me earlier,
Oh, no, it's fine.
and you can bring the camera over and explain.
No, it's good. I got it going.
Okay. You're doing
And
good.
there's another one that's too short. How did that happen?
You're doing good. I don't know, maybe talking and cutting, somehow you got...
No, that was from earlier. That was,
Oh.
remember I just stacked 2 stacks on top of each other?
Oh, sorry.
It's probably that corner piece from earlier, like up in the armpit sleeve part. And one more. So again, I'm just laying them on here. I'm making sure that there's no wrinkles. I'm not going to slide my iron. I'm going to be picking my iron up and laying my iron down. So I'm just going to start over here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Pick it up and lay it down for 5 more. Pick it up, lay it down on the next piece.
Bonnie's still working on her mom's quilt and is wondering what you're doing. Tiffany?
I am working on my clients' 2 memory quilts from their daddy's clothing.
Yeah. Thank you, Kim. Kim said the same thing.
I'm just showing you guys how this is done, getting the most of your fabric and making memory quilts out of clothing instead of just only t-shirts like some people make.
What she's showing you right now at the moment is the interfacing, because a lot of people were asking how that works when we were talking about it way back when on the other video. Remember?
Yeah.
When we were cutting the t-shirts up. And Bonnie says, cool.
I'm just holding it down for 5 seconds and then move it to the opposite side for 5 seconds. I want that glue to adhere, and then I'll move the iron the opposite direction because it doesn't really, the iron is not covering half and half. So I definitely have to go the opposite way. That's why I go over all the blocks again anyway, which helps. And a corded iron is better than a cordless iron when it comes to doing all this. Now I can just slide the iron over the rest of the way, very slowly. I'm going to make sure that they adhere because, again, this is a little bit different to stick to. Than using regular quilting cotton, since this is thermal, which is cotton, but a different kind of cotton. All the little bubbles on the fabric, I think, is what is stopping the glue from sticking too well.
You got the 16 row done. Now to sew rows together, then a border.
Awesome. I probably already did this one. I forget so fast, can you tell?
That's okay. You can go over them and make sure. Recheck. It's okay, you're talking.
Alright, I'm going to go back to the driest one, which would be this one. Oh, look, it's stuck really good this time. So you can see, because thermal has these bubbles, can you see that? Both sides of it, you got to make sure that it's really stuck. But now you can see, look at how thick that is. That is thicker than the other pieces. So this is going to create quite a big seam.
Bonnie asked, do you do that with all the pieces?
Yes, every single piece I'm doing individually instead of ironing the fabric and then wasting interfacing and wasting fabric. I'd rather just do it this way and be done. All right, so now I'm going to grab this poly. You guys are like, oh my God, really? Can you put that on the interfacing? Well, yes, you can. All right, we're going to grab 12 more squares. Like, because I'm just doing 12 at a time. That's no specific number for you guys to remember. I'm just doing it my way.
You know, my love, sometimes your knowledge astounds me that you just randomly know all this, because I have no idea what you're even doing over there.
All right, here's 12 pieces.
You know that, honey?
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Okay, yeah. All right, so again, I'm just going to take these and I want to make sure that it's the proper side facing up and that weird side is facing down. And these ones I got to be super careful with because look at that. You see how I'm sliding this fabric? They don't stay together very well. So I want to make sure that I'm laying this on here. And when I pick up my iron and lay it down, that it definitely helps it stick because this stuff moves around so easily. If you slide your iron and you're using a poly on this interfacing, you are definitely going to have problems. And then you'll end up with glue on the bottom of your iron, which I have before, and it sucks.
Bonnie says, good use of your time and material.
Yes, I don't like to waste. I'm definitely not a wasteful quilter. I definitely like to get the most of everything. Like when I applique, if I only need one little piece of a fabric, I'll look for a scrap of that fabric instead of cutting into a fat quarter, because there's no purpose in cutting into a fat quarter and putting a little bit of glue on the back of it when I can just do it a different way. I don't like to waste at all. All right, here we go. Pick it up, lay it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And just keep going until they are all complete. Just be careful that you don't burn anything. If you leave it down too long, you will burn the polyester. And this is windbreaker polyester, so it's even more resistant to things. Probably is not fireproof.
Bonnie says, I agree, when you're not wasting stuff.
Yeah, I don't like to waste because I really don't have the money to afford this stuff. So this is for a client. Obviously, this stuff is paid for, but why would I want to waste their stuff too? You know, that they're paying for. So I'm just picking it up, going from one square to the next. That one almost lifted.
Vicky asks, what temp is your iron set on?
On the cotton linen, it doesn't actually have a temperature number, so it's on the cotton linen, which is pretty much high. And I'm not having a problem with it, so. All right, I'm going to start from the beginning, going the opposite way now. And now I'm just going to slide the iron back and forth.
She says, thank you.
It's fully glued on. I've never actually had a problem with that hole. Everyone says the iron has to be on a certain one, and even the iron says it, synthetic, blah, blah, blah. This is considered a synthetic. I shouldn't have it really high, but the glue needs to glue on somehow, and nothing is burning, nothing is stinking. This fabric itself is resisting the steam. It's literally pushing it away because it is a windbreaker. So I've never actually had a problem, like when I iron jeans and stuff, but the only thing I've ironed on low is like a silk top, which I don't very often wear. Actually, it's rare I even iron my clothes, but this is the only time you really need to iron clothes. Unless you're in the military. All right, so now you can see the difference. Look at how thin this is. This is still, oops, this is still paper thin. Can you see that? It's just the thickness. So I'm adding this with a seam to even thicker fabric. What's going to happen is my seams are going to be so thick I won't be able to cut anything in half. So that's why I chose to do 5-inch squares into 9 patches.
Yes, that is quite skinny.
I'm going to get creative with my 9 patches though, and even less of seams because I am adding a secondary fabric to all of this. So there we have a whole stack now, you can see right here. It's all on the zoom in. Let's unzoom now and go back to some more cutting. All right, unzoom, unzoom. Back to cutting. Okay, I'm going to iron another shirt. And this one is just a linen cotton stretch. Just gonna iron it. You guys probably can't even see me now because of the way I move the camera. Oh, that's not seam, that's the water. I'm not used to it. The buttons are on different sides on every iron. Nobody would normally iron these kind of shirts, but for this, you need to. So again, I'm going to do the same thing I've been doing. This one might have been an extra large because it's so big. I'm going to line my seam that the shirt makes itself for hemming it, the hem line. And I'm going to start again at the bottom, line my ruler up, try to keep it straight myself, which I'm pretty good at. That's garbage now. I have garbage on the floor here. Leaving my ruler on this side, and again I can switch to this cutter now. There's one. Try not to pull. You can see it starts getting stuck in the cutting mat as well. In the little grooves. So you have to be very careful. Lining everything up. Got to be careful because that end is going to want to turn. Slide it down. Cut one more time. Ooh, I'm going to get 3 out of this one. Yeah, this must have been an extra large because this one I have room up here. Okay, so these are scrap. I'm going to start with the top because I'm already up here separated. And I just go back and forth, switching from one hand to the other when I start. 2. Look, I was able to get 3 pieces more than I did the last time because this is a bigger shirt. Oh, I gotta pull this one up too, because this is what I'm on. Line these all up so I can get a nice good cut from every single one. 15-inch rulers would come all the way as far as I can to the edge. Can't do that because this one has to go down more that way. There we go. I want that to be in my cut. There we go. Again, I'm getting the most of my fabric, so that's why I'm doing this a certain way. I don't want to waste anything. And if I do, it's just little, tiny little cutoffs. My scrap pile is actually very small. You'd be surprised.
We can show it to them then if you want.
Yeah, I will in a sec.
Okay.
And I am cutting all the stripes and everything all the same direction because they can get turned in the quilt itself. And one more cut because that's not going to fit in 5 inches. There. And I just stack them all up.
Kim says my back is not happy with me.
Neither is mine now.
Would it be easier if you sit down and did any of that?
Nope. I tried earlier to sit and cut. This stuff needs to be stood with.
Okay.
All right, that's my 12 pile. All right. I'm just going to start ironing these on because you guys don't need to watch everything. You just need to know what I'm doing. So I'm going to go over there. And, oh, here, right here. See that? That's all that's my waste pile so far. And I can actually make like a pillow or something out of it all. That's why I'm saving it. Oops, some of it I'm not, though. The little tiny pieces I'm not. But, yeah, my scrap pile is not very big, surprisingly.
Kim asked if any of that was hard to cut.
No, it's actually pretty easy to cut. I just, like I said in the beginning, it does dull the blade. Like, seriously. My 60mm blade already needs to be changed, and I just changed it like a month ago. So, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and 12. So make sure that the glue side is up. You're not gluing this to your ironing board. I'm gonna see if the camera can even see the difference. I'm curious. So, see, that's rough. You can hear that side as opposed to this side. It's a lot smoother. Very smooth, very rough. Yeah. So I'm making sure that the rough side is facing up, and I'm just going to take all my squares now and lay them on top. They should be cut exactly to size. And I only have probably 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more shirts to cut, I think. I'm thinking, I'm not sure.
Yeah, don't forget you got the shirt one here to do too.
Oh yeah, that's getting, those are getting appliqued. I'm going to be cutting them out and appliquing them onto a random square.
Penguin in shock. Oh, June says hi.
Hello. Thank you guys all for being here. Obviously, this is a replay or this is the next step to my another video. So I'm just trying to make sure that everybody knows that you can do this with t-shirts and it's not that hard. It's fairly simple. And if you do the 5-inch square thing like I'm doing, it goes a lot faster than having to iron on interfacing, measure all of your fabrics, measuring this, measuring that. and then cutting everything out and wasting so much more. Because you can do anything. If you're using just regular cotton, you can do half square triangles if you want. I mean, this is me using every kind of fabric though.
June says long john material.
3, 4, 5. Yes, there's long john thermal stuff in here. 2, 3, 4, 5.
There's a little bit of everything.
2, 3, 4, 5. I'm just picking the iron up and setting it down. You do not see me sliding until after my first round of gluing. I want to make sure that this is glued first. Because if I slide it, then it'll adjust the fabric, and we don't want that. Just holding it for 5 seconds, and then I go around it a second time to make sure everything's nice and held down.
When Peggy's not feeling well, she's gonna lay down, but keep watching.
Okay.
Thank you, Peggy.
Get better.
Brenda S. says, so the white square is the interfacing. What can iron on interfacing?
What do you mean?
Uh,
you can iron anything onto it. Any
fabric?
Any one of your cotton, polyesters, anything can get ironed onto it. It's just a stabilizer. It is woven. The SF911, actually is this the SF? It's the 911 FFW featherweight. So it's very thin, and it's an iron-on woven interfacing. I think I got these two. I hate when I don't remember that
Teresa
quick.
says, so glad you're feeling better.
Same here. I mean, it's still not completely better. My tummy is definitely not happy with me, but at least it's better than it was. All right, so now I'm just going to go the opposite way. I'm just carefully sliding it because everything's already been glued now, so there's going to be no stretching this time. And I am going the opposite way of when I pressed it down so that I can make sure that all the sides got glued properly. Because the iron does come to a point, it's not flat. So you definitely have to watch that. Or else you'll have like a little tip that's not ironed down. Alright, and now you can see, look at this, they're nice squares. They are all nicely ironed on. Nothing is coming apart, and you can even try to peel. Nothing's peeling away. It's not going to peel. It's definitely glued down nicely. And since this stuff is supposed to be like 3 seconds, but in reality, I think it's like longer than that because the 3 seconds on these kind of fabrics does not stay. I think the difference is in the thickness of the fabric. So here's my stack so far. Look at that.
That's a lot. Mm-hmm.
It looks like a lot. There's so far 12 of each color that I've cut and put the interfacing on. So, and I still have this stack left to do, and then all this, you guys are zoomed in still. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces, and then I still have this to do, and I think I'm going to cut this into a 14-inch square. Hopefully a 14-inch square, and then use the rest towards the quilt as well as this little sewn on piece. Actually, let's do this one now. Let's see. Because 1, 2 is 5, 10, 15 minus 1, 2, yeah. So that's minus 1 inch. So I'm not ironing the vinyl, but I am ironing the shirt itself. I'm just going to go around the vinyl. Do not iron on the vinyl ever. You will ruin it, burn your everything. It's not meant for irons. So I'm just going to iron the bottom. Should be able to get 14 inches up there. It looks like it. I'm gonna come really close to the vinyl, but not on the vinyl. You can't even move the iron on vinyl. I'm just coming really close. I don't even iron it from the back side because it still heats up that vinyl. So there we go. Let's see if we can get a 14-inch square out of that.
Teresa just says, my dog Annie just came up the stairs to get Wyla for dinner. Too funny. That is funny.
Okay. We're going to cut a 14-inch square out of this because one of the squares will be this and another square will be added to. This one will be the whole entire thing. Let's lay this down right here. I'm going to turn it this way because I want to get a 14-inch square. So we're going to cut a nice straight line on the top. I'm literally just going to lay this on here. Nice. I'm going to cut away that seam. And then we're going to line it up again on the line and count over 14. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. I'm going to check one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So it's at the 15. I'm going to very carefully lay my ruler down. This is a non-slip ruler, so I have to be careful by picking it up and moving it. All right, so there's that. Now I need to turn it and do the same exact thing this way. And this time I can use this. So the center, 14 is what? 7 and 7 is 14. So we're going to lay this on the 27 down the center of these two numbers. Line it up on a line. Line it up on a line. There we go.
Hi, Emily. Emily says hello.
All right. Hello. Welcome to everybody that is joining. So 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So the 34. And I need the long ruler for this because I cannot see the number down there. I'm making myself a 14-inch block. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. And the 20. So I'm going to cut this side left-handed. That looks pretty center to me. Count one more time. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oops. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. All right. That can go on my scratch. So the size of my blocks when I make 9 patches are going to turn out this big, and obviously this needs to be ironed onto some interfacing, which I will be doing from the back side. I'll put the interfacing on the back of this, and then I will just pick the iron up and press it down, because if you swipe on it, you will drag it. So that can just go out of the way, and I can just cut 5-inch squares now from the rest of this.
Hi, Nita. Nita says hi.
Hello. All right, so we'll line this up on a line, and because it's long, just going to use the long ruler. Nothing is moved. Everything is flat. I definitely will not have 12 pieces of this, but that is okay because it's going to be big. Oops. Turn the ruler around so I'm on the correct side for 5 inches. There we go, 5. And I really wanted that end piece in there, so we're going to cut the end off because I really want that little applique whatever for the shirt also included in the quilt. So I'm going to turn this around and cut my 5 inches from this side like this. It's easier to just use this ruler because it's already 5 inches. And look, that can be in a square. And this is a blend. This is a polyester nylon. So I definitely need to be careful with it. I'm holding the iron down on it for a while. So there. This one actually will have that still in it, which is kind of cool. Not just kind of cool, it is cool. So many memories. Their dad probably wore this shirt all the time because it's definitely worn.
Yeah, it was his favorite maybe.
Probably. I'm wondering what team it's from. Because blue and yellow, I don't know what blue and yellow is. It just had the number. And it's a really old shirt too. All right. So I'm getting 8 total squares from this. Oops, why did I pick it up? I don't know. Because I was a dummy. This stuff is thin too. Surprising for a jersey type shirt. Ooh, I don't know if I'm gonna get a 4th one. Nope. Look at that. So I didn't get an even amount, but that's okay because I'm not really making anything even with my 9 patches here.
It's okay.
I'm doing what I can with what I got.
Okay, so here she says hi.
Hello. All right. So there's a stack of those. Just gonna throw them over there for now. I guess I might as well just cut up the rest of everything because I'm literally almost done. So
Might as well.
Iron this stuff and we'll just cut the rest. Because that way I can just get it done. Done, I say done. So I'm over at the iron, if you can't see. Just ironing everything that I'm doing.
Kim says most people don't stop to think how much yardage is in clothing.
Oh yeah, this is why I'm showing you guys this. It doesn't even have to be a memory quilt. You guys can get all sorts of clothing from free piles and thrift stores and so on and so forth, because this fabric goes a long way if you're careful with it, you know, and it makes a thicker, heavier quilt. So you got to take that into account. But after the fact, oops, that didn't cut all the way because the blade is getting duller. After the fact, you get really awesome quilts because it's made with a little bit of everything, you know. I should have started this way, but I didn't. I'm having fun with someone else's, you know, clothes, whether the person died or not. There's a lot of fabric here, and I will be able to get, and I'm still not done. I'm adding fabric to it also. So, I mean, I will be able to get 2 twin size quilts plus whatever this other little pile makes. You know, just a little, probably going to make a pillow or 2, one to go with each quilt. We'll see. Oh, that was 5. I almost cut that. I thought I was cutting it at 4, not 5. Gotta pay attention. It's the one thing about using this ruler. It really, really sticks to this fabric. Really, really sticks to this fabric.
Ozzy says hi. Hi.
Hello. Hello to everyone joining. I'm just chopping all this up.
They finally got to catch you live.
Awesome. It makes me happy to know when people can finally catch my live streams, because I come on at such random times. I guess it allows a lot of different people to finally catch live streams because it's so many different times that I do come on.
Yep, that is true.
I mean, sometimes I come on at noon, sometimes I come on at 10 p.m., sometimes I come on at 1 a.m., sometimes I come on at 5.
Mario says
Sometimes
hi
7.
from friendly Montreal. It's nice
Hello.
to catch you live for a change.
Awesome.
And I love the idea of using old clothes.
Yes, this is, I mean, the only thing that you're really spending a lot of money on is you're buying, you need, because I'm doing 2 quilts, just this one bolt here is 1 quilt. So this is 15 yards, I think, on these. Yep, 15 yards on this, and this will be the 1 quilt, you know, and then the whole other bolt will go to the other quilt. So that's the only thing that's really going to get pricey on you guys, is buying the interfacing. But if you buy it by the bolt, it's cheaper than buying it by the yard.
Oh yeah.
So that's a plus, you know. So just think about, you know, when you're buying it, if you're gonna go get a ton of clothes from free piles, or your grandkids are going through their clothes, just chop them up. I know little kid clothes you don't get much out of, but if you plan it just right, you can get the pictures out of all their clothes and then add adult clothes to it, you know, and make one awesome quilt, you know. Call it the family quilt of memories. Just go start taking all your grandkids' clothes and put everybody's clothes into one quilt. You know, I think that would be awesome. And this is, I just chose an easier route because I do want to get these done by Christmas. Plus I didn't want really thick seams, but 5-inch squares make so much different things. So as long as you have fun with what you're doing.
Hi, June.
Hello to everybody joining. I know I'm in a totally different position than normal. Well, actually, this is the normal position, but my cutting is all over the place today.
Oh, it's okay.
I just want to make sure you guys can see. It's not that hard to chop all these clothes up. Oh, man, I don't get a third from there? Oh, well. I'll probably just get one from that piece up there. That's fine, though, because all the little scraps, again, you could make a patchwork, I don't know how to make them, but you can make a patchwork bear, like a memory bear, out of all of this.
Yeah.
Like, seriously. If I knew how to make a bear, I would, but I'm not going to go get a pattern to make a bear. All right. Those are done. Let's add that to the rest of the... Was there more? Where did they go? Guess they're not here. Did I already cut up all of that one? I must have. That goes with that. Didn't do those yet because that's not over. So those are done. So all I have left is a white, an off-white, and a tan. Okay.
You're getting there, my love.
Get in there, yes. Oh, here's more of the blue. This is the other side with the pockets that I'm not using because I changed my mind, like I do a zillion times. All right. Once I get all the rest of this cut up, then I'm going to get off of here because I'm starting to get super hungry with my stomach ache. That does not feel very well.
Mario loves the gray stripey.
All right.
It is a cool pattern, or a cool design, color, whatever.
All right, I'm going to chop these pockets off first. But I'm going to also make sure everything is out of the way. All right, go ahead and chop this side off. Okay, pockets or go on. So now I'm just going to slide this down, cutting all this up, keeping it lined up. Should completely meet up with that last cut, and it does.
Well, Quilting for the Soul has to go. The baby's up and crying.
Okay, Sarah, we'll see you next time.
Good night.
And since I'm making this video today, I probably won't vlog because technically I'm already on the video. So, but just know that most likely I'll be back tomorrow with some more vlogging. Because I do have to do this. Unless I do this more tomorrow and consider it vlogging as well. I'm trying to get at least a video a day out besides my tummy ache day, obviously. But I think a video a day is a pretty good feat, I guess, for me. And you guys did help very much because I hit 2,500 subscribers.
Yes, she did.
Yay! So thank you guys so much for subscribing and coming over and watching me do nothing but cut up fabric, sew fabric, and cut it up some more and sew it some more. I appreciate everybody that comes and watches and gives me thumbs up and comments on my videos and everything, because it really helps.
I'm just going to do both at the same time. Let's see if I can the most of it. Slide that down. Nice and straight. Slide that down. There we go.
I'm literally doing both of these at the same time. They are still evil. Evil. They are evil. This evil fabric.
Hi, Suburban.
Hello, everybody joining. Glad you could make it here while I work on my client's quilt. It's not as spectacular as I was hoping, but maybe it'll come out spectacular. We will see by the time I get all this done. Oh, I got one more.
They're all saying congratulations, Tiff.
Yes. It's taken a long time to get where I am, but that's okay because I wasn't expecting my quilting channel to be 1 million people or anything like that. I already knew in advance that it wasn't going to be a huge channel, but I'm very, I guess the word is, very friendly, close, you know, friendship wise with most of you here, and all of you that are here as well are, you guys know everything about me, and I know quite a bit about you guys because you're always here. We're like this club, the Tiffany's Quilting Life Club. We're all on the same other channels as well, so that's pretty awesome. I like that I can chat with you guys anytime anyone else is on too, not just when I'm on. But we're like this awesome small community. That's the word.
Yeah.
And I love each and
Yes,
every
you
one
are.
of you. Oh, that is a different blue, isn't it? No, it's not. It's the same. That looks so weird.
Mario says it will, Tiff, if you believe in it.
I'm not going to keep my hopes up, but I definitely would need more subscribers so that this channel could start making some money. Because I already told you guys, financially, I'm struggling. That is why I'm taking on
okay.
more jobs than I should be, but I will get things situated in my life.
Kim says we are a family, and that's awesome.
Yes, I love it. I love that I have, and if I
That's
could
what
travel,
matters.
I would totally come and see everybody. If I had a way to travel. I already told you my dream is to be a traveling long armor. Wouldn't that be so awesome? Have a toy hauler and just travel state to state and long arm for you guys and hang out. And I would say have a cup of coffee, but I don't drink coffee.
Oh well, we can find something else.
All right, next shirt, and then I have one more after this to chop up.
Kathy says internet issues. She will catch up later.
Okay, yeah,
She says take care.
I'm
and she's
surprised
glad
my
you're feeling
internet's
better.
good right now. That's a miracle. It's a
For the
miracle.
tablet's getting blurry and not blurry. It's going blurry clear, blurry clear. It's clear right now though. It's very nice at the moment.
I don't know why I just don't close that blade. So I guess I was done with this color. And I was done with this color because all I left is that brown. Interesting.
Look at you. You're going.
All right, so I'm going to cut this bottom off first where the hem is. And this is, I think, this is the fabric that's definitely killing the rotary blade because this...
Oh, Teresa asked what
Look
did
at
I
how
miss? I
stretchy
stepped
that
away
stuff
for a
is.
minute.
Oof, so stretchy. All right, now that I'm on this side, I'm going to leave the ruler right where it is. Cut back into that seam. Cut down. Slide it up. Try not to stretch because I'm definitely hitting where I've cut the fabrics at the seam.
I don't think you missed too much, Teresa. We're just cutting and
Yep, I'm just cutting and then I'll
interfacing.
put some more stuff on these pieces and then probably get off of here. And then tomorrow, hopefully tomorrow, I could start sewing. Again, I'm just, for those that are joining, I'm cutting 5-inch squares out of my fabric because I think that was helping me get the most of. I want to get the most of the fabric. I don't want anything going. I think that seam won't be in the way.
Bonnie says you're very easy to listen to. I love that I have found you guys like you and Becca and others. And she says it feels like quilting with a room full of people.
Yes, it does, definitely. All right, and then these, I'm just gonna slide over right here, nice and straight.
She meant to say room full of friends. Thank you,
Yes.
Bonnie. Yes. And thank you, Jim. Jim said let your videos play in the background while you're doing other things so the commercials can play. And then we get
Yeah, that's,
helps for the ads.
yes.
Yes.
I know the
Thank you,
ads
Jim.
kind of
Yes.
can be annoying, but then, you know, the ads that really get me are when a Arby's ad comes on or something
Food
for
ad,
some
any
kind of food.
ad, yes.
And then I can't get it out of my mind. I go weeks like, oh, I want this. Yeah, definitely. Of course, last night, even though I had a super duper stomach ache and I should never eat pizza, I was craving it. I didn't eat it. I was craving it. So I told Scott, you know what would be nice is like an all meat pizza right now. And he's like, it would be, but that's not going to happen.
You said it way late.
I know, it was like already 9:30 at night.
If you'd have said it earlier in the day, maybe.
I'm going to line these right back up. Just nicely right here. And I'm just going to cut all of them at the same time. I'm going to iron that last fabric and cut all those at the same time. Everything's nice and flat. Again, I'm cutting 5-inch squares. And for those that are new, yes, I can cut left and right-handed. I've been able to do that since I first started. And that's going to be a good thing. That's going to come into play when this wrist, I go to the doctor's for my wrist on the 21st. So
Yep, she got an appointment today.
if they have to surgically fix it, it'll be great because I can cut left and right-handed and I won't need to stop quilting.
Yeah, there you go.
Because I can
Or you
do
can
it
have me help you cut.
both ways.
Huh, honey?
Yep.
Won't that be something?
Yep.
Everyone's still congratulating you on reaching 2,500 people.
Yep. It's definitely
Yippee.
an accomplishment.
Yes, it is. It's big. I remember when we were struggling to get to 1,000.
That seemed like it took forever. That was like I was holding my breath for months. And then all of a sudden one day it just started jumping and it was like, whoa.
Well, you have friends on here that are trying to do that too, and yes, they know the struggle. It's real.
Yeah.
Because you can't do the live videos, right? Until you're at
Yeah.
1,000. It's a pain.
Yep. All right, one more left to cut. Then
Kim
I can-
asks, oh, never mind. She's asking someone else. Or something like that.
All right. So I'm just stacking them all up, throwing them out of the way. And then I'm ironing. Got this last part. It's the back of the windbreaker. And this has pleats in it, so I need to be careful of that. I'm going to iron what I can, but there's pleats in this fabric, so I'm going to iron up to. So I have to like adjust it as I go because I'm trying to get around the pleats, but not create new ones. I will be using that part of the fabric. Okay. So you guys can see there's pleats on this. I'm just going to be going around it. Let's go this way because if I chop that top off, it might open those up. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Chop it first.
Oh, yeah.
That's my Michigan voice. Or Minnesota. Which state is that? Oh yeah.
Minnesota. Fargo. Remember the movie Fargo?
Yeah. Or the lady on Supernatural. She's got a really strong accent.
Yep. Yes,
All right.
she does. The blonde. Yep. Mario says you need a special personality to make it on videos. You have a very nice personality, and it's nice that your partner is also around. It feels cozy.
Yeah.
Well, thank you.
He wasn't always in the beginning though. Like, but now he is. He tries to make it on every live stream now so that I have somebody to read because I do get off topic and end up on video way too long when he's not in here. And I'm trying to, if I'm going to be videoing every single day, I might as well have him in here to keep me in check. Come on, woman, get off. You've been on too long.
I don't say stuff like
I
that.
would stay in here all day. If Scott didn't come in here, I'd stay in here all day. I would never eat. I would never sleep. So
don't
it's
say it
good
like
that
that.
he's in here, because as soon as I'm finished with this and put a couple pieces of iron on, I will go eat. I won't be sleeping, but I will go eat, because I really need to eat something. It's dinner time. Plus my wrist is killing me. So I'm just leaving. I'm literally holding my blades still down when I do that, if you guys haven't noticed. That way I don't have to have more than one ruler or switch to a big huge ruler. I can literally just continuously cut, which is good because it saves me from stopping and starting and stopping and starting and having to reline things up and blah 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 blah. So there's one. And my squares are pretty darn accurate even while doing all this, so that's a plus too.
Heck yeah.
I can tell you this much, my blade is going dull.
You've been saying that the whole video.
So
I said
super
could
dull.
change it
I
for
am
you.
not going to use this pleat. I will be cutting around it, but I did cut the fabric enough to where I can just line right up to it and slice it away.
Mario says your squares look perfect.
Yeah, they usually are. Sometimes. Now, when I'm cutting quilting cotton, that's a different story. I end up with so many issues. But when I'm trying to do a client's project, yeah, I definitely do everything I can to be 100% on target and perfect as perfect gets. And there is not one more. And this stuff is so easy to cut because this is like super duper thin, and line that up right there, line that there, line that past the line, and line this up past that line. Again, I'm getting the most of every single one of these. Stay, stay, stay.
Teresa says I just put some veterinary liniment gel on and it works great. Never heard of that.
Line this up. Some what?
Veterinary liniment gel on and it works great.
Interesting.
Her neck is hurting now, so I imagine she put it on her neck, but I've never heard of veterinary liniment gel.
I did put some anti-wrinkle cream on my face last night that I got from my neighbor because it was a brand new package. And let me tell you, that tingling sensation around my eyes and my eye, like under my eyes, I have eye bags because I have really bad insomnia, so I don't get much sleep. And yeah, oh my goodness, my face was so rejuvenated. I felt like a whole new woman. I looked into the mirror. I had no eye sags. It was the weirdest sensation, and the look, like the crow's feet on the sides of my eyes were gone. It's some L'Oreal something rejuvenation or whatever. Yeah, I was like, holy moly.
But Teresa says they use that on horses, the veterinary liniment gel. So if
Ah.
it works for horses, I guess it can work for us.
Yep.
Mario says, how did you operate? Your client gave you t-shirts and ordered a quilt? Yes, pretty much.
Yep, they brought me, like, they wanted a memory quilt, so of their daddy's clothing, with their daddy's clothing, I guess that's what the word is. And yeah, they bring me a big, just bags and bags. Every time I've ever done this, it's just bags of clothing. I only take what I can use because there are times that people bring me things that are not usable in a quilt at all. Like I can use this because I've done it before. In the beginning, when I first started quilting, I didn't know any better. So obviously I learned my lesson using certain fabrics. So I know that I can use this and I'm not having a problem. But yeah, some things you just cannot use. I mean, you probably could if you were expert quilting, but I have one little thing I need to cut out. And I don't even know how I'm going to cut it. So I have this little penguin, and I want to put the penguin on a 5-inch square.
Heather says, tonight I despise technology. That's what I get for trying to edit
I'm
anything.
gonna line him up in the
Tiff feels
center.
your pain. She is not a technology person, and neither am
And I'm
I.
gonna hold this in the center. This is from the neck. It's a little applique penguin, and I'm going to center him. All right, let's put him there. And I'm just going to be appliquing him on to one of the 5-inch squares once it's put on the interfacing. Let's see, 3 inches. That's perfect. 3 inches. Is that 3 by 5? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I wonder if I can just sew it. Ooh, that's what I could do. So I
You
can
could sew it onto a piece of fabric.
iron the black on. Oh, that's not even the same color black. Whatever. I could just put it on a white one, like this. So I can put the interfacing on here.
That way it pops out.
And then center this guy right here, and then stitch on both sides, like that. And it'll be a little black and white little piece. Because it has, if I hold it up, you guys could see it has a little penguin. It's a little applique penguin. So.
Let's see. Oh, I was
Can you
gonna
see
come look and see. I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Should we show the shark thing?
I have a shark one to do also.
Kim says I'm yawning like crazy. Either my brain needs oxygen or I'm getting old. I feel you, Kim.
The
I need
other
a nap.
quilt is getting the penguin one, and whatever quilt doesn't get the T-shirt that has the saying on the back will get the shark. Because I'll cut the little shark guy out, and he will go on something too. Because he's awesome. All right, these are all garbage. All right, so I'm just going to go over to the iron now. This is going to go with the other quilt.
Okay.
And I'm going to start putting more pieces. Oh, all right. I'm going to put one of these on here. That's because it caught the iron. That's why I just pick and press.
Should we say that another day? Something about that? Okay. Sounds good to me.
Just gluing this one on so that I know what this is going to get glued onto it.
Harry says
And
it's about that time.
actually, so I put a piece of interfacing on here. I'm going to grab a scrap from my scrap interfacing. Right here is a wonderful piece of scrap. And I'm going to, no, I want double-sided. No. I don't think I have any double-sided scrap here, do I? Oh, well, I'm just going to put a little piece around the penguin for now. A little piece around the penguin. Ooh, perfect size, too. That way, when I go to sew him on, there we go. So he has it, he's not fully, because this will just end up in the seam, but what I'll do is I'll take this to the other machine and do a blanket stitch across this side and across this side, and the two sides right here will end up in the seam. So that won't make any difference, and I'll just center it on here. And there we'll have a little penguin. Which is cool because I put it on white and penguins are black and white.
Yes.
So that works perfect for that. All right. So let's come over to the iron and glue some more of these on while I pull my pants pull my pants up because they're falling off of me.
Ooh.
Not ooh.
Ooh.
Not ooh.
If I could whistle, I'd whistle, but I can't whistle, so I can't do that.
All right. Here we go. Let's iron some more.
So I say, ooh.
All right, 12 of these. Again, 1, 2, 3, and I have the glue side up. 4, 5, 6. I could spread them around. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, and one more makes 12. Oh, come on. Sometimes the interfacing gets stuck to the to itself. All right. So all these are here. Let's put this color on. So again, I'm just placing them on top. As you can see in the video, I'm just taking the piece and putting it on top of the interfacing, glue side up, but right side up also with the fabric. Because if you don't, you're going to make a disaster.
Kim says stop flirting with the teacher to me.
Right? Yeah. You guys should hear him on a normal basis when not on camera. It is horrible.
I'm near as bad as I used to be.
Oh,
I've
yeah.
settled down in my old age.
He has grabbed my butt on camera though before several times. You guys just don't notice. Because he does it inconspicuously.
Mm.
That is a big word.
Yes, it is. You've done well.
It's funny. I'm literally just laying these on here. And if it needs slight coaxing.
Teresa says, boy, that is
Slightly
quite a
coaxed.
stack of fabric you got there on the ironing board.
Yes. And to think it needs to be bigger. Because I still have more squares to cut from more fabric. Whew. I have my background fabric, but I'm only putting per 9 patch 3 of each, 3 colors. My background fabric, there's gonna be a 9 patch, and it's just gonna run on the diagonal, just 3 pieces for each block.
Suburban says, I'm gonna burn dinner watching y'all. LOL.
Don't do that.
Mary says, you two are blessed to have each other. Thank you, Mary.
Yes. And I'm only doing 12 at a time so that way I can just have an equal amount. I'm trying to pull an equal amount from every fabric. So if one only has 12 pieces, then there's one that only has those 8 or 9 that came from it. But they're all going to get mixed around anyway. Technically. Alright, so I'm going to go back to the beginning and go the opposite way. Making sure they are fully glued down. My iron is super duper hot, so it helps this process go by hopefully a lot faster than using that other iron, because the other iron I had to keep putting it on the base to warm back up.
Yes, Mario, they're all from the same client. Mario asked if
Yeah.
the piles are from the same client.
Yep, same client.
Yes, she's making 2 total quilts for the lady. One for her and one for her sister. They're getting 2, what, twin size?
Yes, 2 twin size quilts is what I'm doing. That's why I split, when I chopped all the shirts up, I split it into 2 piles. Okay, so I'm going to pick all these up. They should pick up easily. They should not separate, like you can see. There's no way I can separate that. It is on there. So my stack is getting pretty darn tall. The ones that are harder to glue is the thermal, and that's it. All right, let's do that. And then I'll be done because I need to cut more interfacing anyway. 1, 2.
Mario says, wow, that man had lots of clothes.
It wasn't even a lot. This was more than my husband had, but less than a normal man I've seen in their closets.
I guess I'm not normal. I live sparse.
All right. Oh, this pile is only getting this many because I used one on that white. Actually, no, there's probably not. Oh well. Let's cut one more. Just because I'm right here. I'm just cutting some, and I want an equal amount. I'm
Okay.
trying to have equal amounts here, people.
Okay.
All right.
Teresa says, okay, I'm going to start quilting again. I keep listening, but won't be in the chat.
Oh, that's fine. That is fine.
Well,
I'm
maybe
not,
you've inspired her.
hopefully, I need to get something on the long arm. I don't have anything on there, and I don't know what to put on there. I should make some backing and put something on there. My thread pile, though, is getting very low, so that means I'm going to have to go to the quilt store and get some more thread.
What about the Walmart thread? Can it be stuff we buy from there?
No.
Oh, okay. I didn't know because I was just there today. I was gonna say you should told me while I was there.
Nope.
Heather says I turned most of my husband's old shirts into napkins / nose rags for the kids to use. LOL.
Yeah, that's what we do.
We do the nose rags thing, yep.
And or car rags.
Yes, car rags too.
Or cat vomit rags. Which he
No.
hasn't done since we changed his food, so we don't need the carpet scrubbing rags lately. Which
Mario
is good.
says, Mario says nose rags, LOL. We call them snot rags here.
Yeah.
Nose rags was a nicer term.
Yeah.
But yes, all of our old clothes go to that.
Yep. And if they're still nice clothes, then we don't even cut them up. We give them away for free.
Yes, every year before Christmas, we do a giant yard sale / Christmas giveaway, and we
Which
give
you
a
guys
lot of
already
stuff away
saw.
for free. And yes, you guys already had Tiff's little tour. It was just this past weekend. Oh, Heather says I also make grocery bags out of his old
Yeah, I've
jeans.
seen that. There's a couple people that live here in town that make grocery bags out of the clothing.
Now that I haven't seen. That's interesting.
Seen grocery bags made out of firefighter costume. It's not a costume, but what the firefighters wear. Those look really cool. The bags out of firefighter uniforms. That's the word I was looking for. Uniform.
You know, we know something. We could do something like that.
4, 5.
You know?
1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Mario says once I made burping towels for a friend. A year later, I was in their garage, and the burp towels were in the car wash rag bin.
Yeah, that's one thing I haven't made for anybody is burp cloths or anything like that because there is no point. Most parents don't even use them because seriously, you're going to grab a new one every time your kid spews all over you after a bottle? That's a lot of laundry to wash. I just let them spew on my clothes and wipe it up the kitchen sink or something. Or use receiving blankets,
I always
Just
use
keep
the rags.
using the same receiving blanket over and over and
I
over.
always use the rags. Or yes, the receiving blankets, yes.
Which I have a ton of receiving blankets because I was going to make a quilt with all those because they're all flannel. I'm holding it down for 5 seconds if you guys are wondering what I'm doing here. It's tiring just standing here. I just want to put my foot up and...
You go sit down and I can do it. I told you this how many times?
No, this is my last go around anyway.
Heather says my kids still use the old bird's eye cloth diapers that were burp rags for nose rags too.
Yeah, I have a bunch of really nice receiving blankets. So one of these days I will be turning those into a quilt.
I really think we should get in with this fireman thing and do something. You know it, I've said that before. Well, Jillian even went and did all those pictures at one time when they made them the table. Remember that?
Mm-hmm.
And I told you I know the head hotshot down there. Went to high school with him and hung out with him for years at the gym and everything.
I'm just going over them again because this, especially this thermal, it needs an extra go over because it doesn't stick very well. I mean, it does. It sticks good once you can get it glued on. So I'm just making sure that I go over double with these, a lot more than I would with the other fabrics.
Yes, Mari, the grocery bag idea is interesting. I'm going to have to see one of these now. Says I gotta go take my Metamucil. Be right back. Okay.
It's just fiber. Trust me.
I know what it is.
Because I used to use it.
I know. I used to buy it for you.
Instead, I take gummies now. I chew fiber gummies because I definitely don't get enough fiber in my diet, and my doctor says I need it. So, or my gut don't work properly. All right, now that you guys are up close, still zoomed in, look at this pile. Whew, that's just the ones that I've completed with the interfacing. I still have all of this right here left to do, and hi, that's a lot left to do. There's 4 more stacks that haven't been done, so that's all. I'm gonna stop because I'm hungry. So we're gonna come back over here, unzoom you out, and I'm gonna sit down for a second in my sit down spot. Close that up. I've been standing too long.
June says, I have a lot of bags, but they won't let us bring them into the stores.
Oh, you can't bring reusables into the store right now because of the COVID thing?
At a lot of places, no. Our store, Smith's, finally just let them do it over again. But for the longest time here in town, we couldn't do that. Yeah.
All right, so there's that. Again, the bigger shirts I did cut into 14-inch blocks so that when I put these together into a 9-patch, one of these makes the 9 patches size. That I will put on interfacing later. And then I cut a 9.5-inch square, so I'll still be able to get 2 squares here and 2 squares there to complete my 9-patch. I'm also using filler fabrics, which it's going to be the same process without putting the fusible on it because they don't need it. What I'm going to be using it for is my seams need to go to a thinner side of something because they're going to be thick no matter what. So making 9 patches, I'm going to fold the seams in towards the thinner fabric. It's a linen, so it's still thick, but I'm going to fold it in towards the ones without interfacing, and my seams will go opposites of each other, and they should sit nicely. Those fabrics will be what goes down in the diagonal, which you'll see when I get to the sewing part. I got a nice big stack going. I got all those cut up now, so all I need to do is just cut some more of this stuff up right here and glue all the rest of that on. But not right now. And I'll probably just sit here and do it one piece at a time. I'll just sit in my chair up at the ironing board and just one right after the other and just sit there and do it. Other than that, that's all I have for this. So again, this is taking clothing, just random clothing. They're not all the same kind of fabrics. Just random linens and cottons and polyesters and whatever
Linda says,
cotton
I'm
this other
anxious to
stuff's
see
made
how it
from.
turns
So
out.
it's men's shirts. There's a lot of solid in it, but I'm going to make it work to the coolness benefit. I want it to look cool. So, and then I'm also adding the big parts from specific shirts and as best as I can add it in. So this is letting you know that you can do this too. Just go get a bunch of clothing. If you find t-shirts, you don't have to make t-shirt quilts by just using the sayings. Go pick up printed shirts like this, you know, chop them up, you know, and have fun with it because it's definitely, I'm having fun. I mean, my hands hurt, but I'm having fun. Isn't that the whole point? If you don't enjoy your job, then don't do it, you know? So I'm enjoying this job I'm creating. And I'm not doing what I originally wanted, but don't sue me. I change my mind so often. Anyway.
I'm anxious to see how it turns out too.
All right, friends. Well, again, this is just going to be considered my vlog for the day as well. I'll most likely be back tomorrow. Maybe tomorrow I'll be sewing something. I'm going to go eat and do my thing. Don't forget, if you are new to my channel, subscribe. I'm at 2,500. It needs to go up. Up. And when I say up, also give me a thumbs up. And don't forget, if you're watching the replay, comment down below because that also helps the comments get circulated through and helps the videos be seen. So other than that, I thank you guys for joining. Hope you all have a wonderful night. Scotty's saying bye, and we will see you tomorrow, hopefully. Bye.